Okay, having just shown you what we bought down the village shop, Russell's decided he's going to be in charge of lunch today, so we've emptied a few bits out of the fridge. So I thought I'd just show you for practical reasons here in the Nugget how you set about prepping food. It does involve dealing with the fridge first, because then that's usable workspace. So you have to think ahead a little bit. As you can see, we still haven't cleared up from breakfast, which is kind of shocking. Yeah, but there's the fridge, so he's gone ahead and got everything we want out of the fridge first. Now that can be closed and used as worktop. He's going to deal with the washing up situation. Yes. Now, the great thing about the Nugget is that it has hot water as well, and I will tell you from experience, this water is coming out like really hot. You can see the steam coming off it. Too hot.
So I can get the plug in.
So the only other thing we do is, obviously under all that lot is our hob with the fold down glass screens. Hopefully you can now hear above the washing up and the rain. I brought a dry mat so that our washing up can go on it and dry, but it also protects the glass, so you get nothing with it to protect the glass hob, or the glass screen rather, of the hobs. So I use this during the day as another surface we can have, but also for drying things. So yeah, bit of organisation required, but Russell's now going to go ahead, do the washing up, and then get my lunch. Oh, it's turned itself off. Oh no, still going.
So in case you're wondering, these are plastic plates out of the Bugaboo, which is here, which is, I think we've talked about this before, but it's an all-in-one. It's got pots, it's got pans, it's got cups, it's got bowls, and yeah, it's great because it's a real space saver. So although it'd be great to have some nice crockery to eat off of, it's just more practical this way because everything can go away into the Bugaboo, which fits into one of the cupboards next to me, and just keeps everything neat and tidy and stops anything kind of getting broken as well while we're driving. So it's a much better way of doing it. So this frying pan, I think, is out the Bugaboo, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
It acts as the lid to everything once you put it together. The pans come with detachable handles. Now the kit itself only actually comes with one, so we went back onto the website and ordered a second handle because we've got two gas hobs, and you know, you might be using two of the pans. So yeah, we ordered a secondary handle to go with it. They clip on and off for easy storage. We tend to keep those in the cutlery drawer, just for ease of access and use. Otherwise you kind of have to take everything apart to put everything back again. But storing it up there on the top shelf, not really being used for anything else while we're parked up, means I can easily reach behind us, or Russ can easily reach behind him and use it and pack things away. We know where it is all the time. We haven't got to keep bending down into the cupboard to get it out. The pans themselves are brilliant. They're non-stick.
Apart from this one's
apart from that bit, because it's been left to dry, which is my fault this morning. But yeah, they're really nice pans. The only thing I'd say with it, when the handles are clipped on, because the handles are also metal, they have a tendency to also get hot. So Russ is going to get one out to show you. See, they unfold and then they clip on to the pan itself. But they are metal and they tend to get hot as well. So I have a couple of pan cloths that I just use to wrap around the handle to pick them up. Slight design flaw, I'll say, but yeah, other than that, it's a brilliant thing. The basket it all comes in also doubles as a washing basket if you want it to. You know, you can do your washing bowl rather. Yeah. Being distracted because my dog's now realised that I'm here and is barking. Yeah, the thing that holds it all together, it acts as a rubbish bag if you wanted it to, or a washing up bowl, or just as a carrier to keep it all together and secure and in one place. Yeah, we love it.
So as you can see, I think, you know, the washing up bowl in the Nugget is a reasonable size, and I'd say it's about 40 centimeters in diameter, roughly. So Julie's sort of thinking about making a cover to go on top,
Ford do supply one now. We've made some inquiries around this, around the accessories that are available for the Nugget. What I would say is, for what you actually get, it's expensive. So they do a sink cover for this that matches the worktop, which makes the sink additional workspace when you're not using it. But it's £90 and it has to be shipped from Germany. Frankly, for a bit of worktop cut into a circle, I think that's a bit extortionate.
Let's get down B&Q.
I've done the other thing, which is I've ordered some discs of plywood from Hobbycraft, and I'm cutting them to size. So I'm making my own bespoke chopping board / sink cover. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to get it finished in time to bring on this trip, which is my own fault. But yeah, that adds another piece of worktop when you're not using the sink. Also stops stuff falling in there, stops the sink getting dirty when it's not in use.
Well, what I was finding was that washing up bowl that we had a minute ago, which you've slung outside, it folds flat, so I was using that on top of the sink so that I could use it as a prep area while I needed to get into the fridge, or while I was cooking, because that just limits the amount of space you've got. So you've just got this L shape in the kitchen area, and the top loading fridge is brilliant, much better than the Dometic fridge we had in the previous van, which was a normal kind of side opening door. But there is that challenge that it takes up quite a lot of the workspace, so you've got to be kind of organised, which is not my thing. Necessarily, but I did manage okay yesterday to sort of plan things and get stuff out the fridge, then put stuff over here to prep it while I was cooking on the hob, and it all worked out fine. But if you're not that organised, it's a little bit of a juggling act.
The other thing we discovered this morning when Russ got up to pay a visit and then came back is, because where he'd left the chopping board, he managed to knock the tap on.
Yes.
With the chopping board covering the sink, so that was a small amount of panic and wiping up afterwards.
Well, we'll have to show you in another video, and you might have seen this on Silver Nugget Adventures or Cali Camper Adventures or one of the other blogs. But the getting in and out of the pop top, the ladder is here, right in front of the sink. That's where that attaches. So part of the process is you need to stand on the shelf in order to get up onto the bed. So it is a bit of an intricate balancing act first thing in the morning. You need to be careful
what you put on the worktop before you go to bed.
Yeah, basically. And the other nice thing, I guess, that we haven't mentioned before is that in our previous van, it didn't have an onboard waste tank, so we had to use an underslung waste container, which didn't have a huge capacity. But now there's a 45 litre freshwater tank on board, and it's a similar size for the waste tank as well, and that means that we can do more washing up, and of course with the hot water as well. And so if we have a look at this, so we're at about, now this is interesting because we filled the water tank to 100% when we got here, and obviously we've used nearly 75% of the water, but it's saying there's only 50% grey water. And this is something that we found while we got the van. Although this display looks fantastic and sophisticated, it only goes up in 25% increments, so it is not accurate. You know, you would think they would be able to tell you more accurately how much water was in there, but basically it only goes up into 25, 50, 75 or 100. So as soon as you use some water at 100%, it will pretty much instantaneously go down to 75, but you might have 90% on board. So that's a bit irritating. But it does mean all that grey water, so the stuff that I've just flushed down the sink just now, goes into a tank which is under the sink here, and then we can sort of dispose of that in the normal way through the campsite. So this particular campsite doesn't have a drive over motorhome servicing point. So normally we would do that, we would drive over and then there is a lever under the sink that you can open which drains all the wastewater out. What we'll have to do on this site is go to the service point next to reception and run a hose from our waste tank emptying point to the actual service point, which is a bit more complicated than usual, but it's still, because you can't drive with full tanks, that's the other thing I'd say. You can only drive with 10 litres of fresh water in the freshwater tank, so when you're leaving site you have to be able to drain all these tanks down. But it is really handy, and we found that way we've probably used a lot more fresh water with this van because we're doing more washing up on board rather than using the washing up point at the campsite reception and having to carry things to and from the van. But there you go, I'm going to get on and make some lunch now, and we will catch you later.